Welcome to the show.
This guy got a mistletoe belt on.
Gosh, that is bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot.
Looked in the mirror, I'm like,
Good old innocent fun. Okay, yeah,
bro,
we should
shout out to Rosie's. Is it called Rosie's? What's the name?
I don't
of the
even
place?
know. You're the only one who goes there.
Bro.
It is, but dude, what's his name? Who's that? Not Action Bronson?
Oh, okay.
That big guy?
Yeah.
He's all about the food. And yeah, he goes there.
Man, dude, they
Bunch
do
you
it
love.
right.
Dude, you got to move this
Go
away
for
from
it.
me though, because
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna want to eat it the whole episode.
How you doing? Me too.
You can keep eating it. It's fine.
Nah, it's too good. Welcome. Great day in Astoria today. Man.
Oh, dude. Well, fucking back at it, dude. Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, we're
Look
doing
at
it,
us,
man.
dude. Fucking
We're winning.
pouring rain in Astoria.
Bro, 1 week of rain.
Dude, I feel like the rain's following me. I was just in Vermont, and it was beautiful down here.
Yeah.
This weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Fucking pouring rain in Vermont the whole weekend.
Where exactly is Vermont? Like that's above New York, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's like next to New York. New York's big, man.
And so it's next to it. Yeah, I always confuse those areas. There's like 2 or 3 up there. That
It's
are
north of here,
yeah.
but like also kind of
But like,
east
is that
of
the
New York.
place where you'll see a lot of people that leave New York? They'll go up there for the weekend. Is that Vermont like a weekend trip, or you can't drive it?
Yeah, where I went, it's like 3.5 hours.
Driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the place I was thinking of. Rhode Island. Not too many people really visit there for the weekends, right? That's more of
Rhode
a,
Island's right past Connecticut.
which I love Rhode Island, man. Would you ever live in Connecticut and commute? One of my buddies just bought a house out there.
Only if, like some of those guys like Bobby Kelly and they got all beautiful houses up there.
Where I'm in Connecticut.
Yeah, like southern Connecticut, right
Yeah,
outside
my
the city.
friend, she just got one. House payment's $5,400 a month, and it's if you think about it, she has a mansion out there.
I mean, that's crazy, but then you think about the way that people are spending on rent here in the city.
that's what I'm saying,
People, my mortgage is my taxes. I'm paying like $6,000 a month.
dude.
You're like, what the fuck?
There was this place I was at. It was like a timeshare type of building, and like it was like $3,000 a month just for like building fees or some shit. I'm
It's
like,
nuts, dude.
What's your rent then? She's like, altogether it's about $12,000 a month. It was a nice apartment, but I'm like thinking to myself, even if I had this much money, and it was like it was like 72nd and Broadway. It's not even like, I guess you could buy the park somewhere, but that's a real
It's the
scuzzy
Upper
area.
East Side.
So 72nd's west side, or Broadway's west side, but it's like, have you been over there, dude?
There's nothing happening
The
there.
road's all drug addicts. Like, and then
There's
the
nothing
park.
going on there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, even if I had that to pay $12,000 a month to live somewhere where you're not getting any return, dude, it feels like such a waste.
And even the space. Oh, yeah. And then that too. It's like, yeah, you're getting zero return on that.
There's no like house that you get afterwards. I mean, that's the only reason why buying in New York makes sense. But then it's like, renting, you're paying for the luxury of like, you got a gym in the building, you got a pool on the roof, that kind of stuff. That's
I'll
nice.
tell you, the one thing that sucks with buying in New York, though, is that they're allowed to just say no to you, even if you have every qualification. They want
you
to
say that's bad. I think that's great.
Yeah, because they'd say yeah to you.
Yeah,
probably,
you
know
go,
what I mean?
hey, you listen, Dom, we got to keep this building a certain level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like somebody was telling me they had money from a moving company, but they were like, oh, we kind of just try to keep like working professionals in here, even though he made a lot of money. But it's like you could look at the dude and tell he's not to be
He's a millionaire.
Well, he wasn't a millionaire, but he owns a moving company. I mean, he might very well be a millionaire now. But
Yeah.
I know in the pandemic he started this moving company, and I was working for him, and he was making like 30 G's a month then. And
Really?
I don't know, now he has like 7 trucks out there, and it's not even like a big. It's all through TaskRabbit. He didn't buy trucks with the names. This dude makes so much that he actually just rents the trucks from CC Rental. So he doesn't own any trucks.
It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can make, dude, there's so many ways you can make big money. Everybody's talking about now, like, oh, I got to make money. You got to do this, got to do that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got to be a YouTuber,
Right.
Dude, all these like professions that people like, these like blue collar professions that certain people in our society look down upon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like uneducated,
painter,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. Dude, HVAC, construction. Those are the people who are making so much money now.
Yeah.
And those businesses, because everybody right now is like, oh, like our age, right? Everybody, when we were kids, it was like, you got to be a lawyer, you got to be a doctor, you got to, be a professor at a university, these like prestigious type jobs.
Yeah.
Dude, there's going to be nobody who can do HVAC in like 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah. I feel like
those guys are going to make so much goddamn dough.
We're going the same way like the Philippines was back in the day. Like everybody was told be a doctor or something in America. And now I feel like there's probably too many college graduates now. Like
way too many.
Right? And it's like that in the Philippines. Like when I worked on the cruise ships, half the people serving soup were doctors. But in the Philippines, that don't help you at all.
Yeah, dude, that's why you go to Starbucks and you got someone with a master's degree being like, what do you want on top of your latte?
Can you imagine, though? Yeah. It's like, bro, you went to school to be a doctor, and that's like you get out of school, and everybody in the Philippines is a doctor. So it's like, what, you just ask your sister what's wrong or something.
Is that true? I didn't know that a bunch of doctors are out there.
Yeah, all those other countries, they all get those educations. But
you know what? That makes it less impressive. You know when you like meet a cab driver and they're like, back in my home country, I'm doctor.
Bro.
And you're like, well, now I'm not that impressed. Everybody's a doctor over there.
And cab drivers, bartenders, and barbers, I never listen to anything they say. Those are the three professions where their job is to lie to you. Like, you ever ask a cab driver how your day's going? It's never good.
It's never good. He's like, oh, my wife got kidnapped. I got into two car accidents before I picked you up. God damn, dude.
You know what I do for fun? I wish I could record it sometime. I go and see how bad I can get barbers to lie when I'm getting my hair cut. Because my uncles are barbers, and I see it. Like my Uncle Lou, somebody will sit down in the chair, and he'll be like, my name's Mike. He'll be like, that's my name. He'll be like, are you serious? And dude, everything the guy does. And the next customer, same thing.
There's a dude on the internet now who does like NPC videos. Have you ever seen these?
Oh, you mean where he's that guy in Times Square?
No, some kind of like that, but he just walks around. He goes, dude, everybody in this world is an NPC. You can say anything you want to people, and they'll just be like, what? That's crazy. Like it's a video game.
I did see that, dude.
He walks in and he goes, how you doing? It's like a Monday. He's like, hope you're about to have a good weekend. And they're like, oh yeah. And he's like, let me tell you this. Danny DeVito has an OnlyFans. And the guy's like, no way. And he's like, yep. Best $50 I ever spent. Oh yeah, that thing is long and thick. And the guys are just like, that's crazy, man. It's like NPC conversations.
That's the stuff we can't compete with. That like, there's no comedy sketch I can write that's that funny.
No, that's so funny.
I might have just seen the funniest video I've ever seen on the internet. Yeah. Now, you know those balloon popping shows, like where they pop the balloons and the dudes come in? It's like some hood stuff, but it's like all these girls have a balloon.
Oh, yeah. Pop the balloon.
Yeah, pop. Yeah. And they go, what's wrong? Dude, there's a guy pranking people. He comes with 5 girls and a camera and just goes up to random dudes, and they start popping their balloons, and he goes, oh, sorry, so why'd you pop? And she goes, his pants don't look right. And this guy's like, what's going on here?
Just on the street?
Yeah.
I love that,
just right up in stores. Yeah, it just goes up to
funny,
him.
man.
Like the dude's shopping, they're right behind him, the balloons start popping. He's like, buddy, why are you doing this? That was the funniest line in the whole thing, because it's like, it's like, why wouldn't you do it? And how can you even explain yourself? I'm just pranking you for a YouTube video, really.
Dude, I thought you were talking about when you said the balloon popping. I was just watching them. Part of the reason I wasn't ready when you a little peek behind the curtain to the fans is Dom got here early.
For the first time.
I mean, listen, I wasn't going to say it, but it was real early. Got the food ready to go.
Yeah.
And I was laying on the couch watching videos of those. Have you ever seen the Indian dudes who compete? In like they'll be like, it'll be 2 setups and they'll go and do these obstacle courses.
No,
you never seen that?
No, I seen the Japanese
things
where they run through. No,
dude, it's like Indian dudes, and then they like win like a bag of rice.
Do they wear dress
and they
shirts?
Go nuts, dude. Yeah, dude, they get a bag of rice and they lose their fucking mind.
Wow,
it's great.
It's about the winning of it. What do they do in the thing?
Oh, they'll do like it might be throw a basketball at a balloon to pop it, and then they move on, and then it's like hit a cue ball into a hole, and it's like 6 or 7 different things, and whoever gets it done quicker wins.
Is there any rules in the thing?
Nah, no rules.
Yeah,
dude.
That's how Indian
rules,
people,
dude. They don't got pavement.
Bro, and the thing is, you can never give an Indian dude rules because they're going to follow it to the T. Like, if you break one rule, they're like, no, he cheated. Dude,
that's what I was watching those videos when you knocked on my door. I was like, oh, shit, I got to get ready.
No, I got to check that out. I seen the Japanese ones. Like, that's big, the Japanese ones where they're going through the obstacle. It's like Japanese gladiators.
Yeah, they do. What was that called? Wipeout?
Yeah.
Well, that was
That's
like
a popular show.
Yeah, that was, I think, taken from. That's what I noticed. Anytime a country gets something pretty good, like not the United States, the U.S. is like, you know what? This is a good idea, but we can make it so much better.
Dude, Power Rangers, remember? Didn't we talk about that before? They just completely stole Power Rangers.
Pokemon.
Imagine doing that back in the day.
Yeah.
Imagine the comedians that learned they could just drive to like Europe or fly to Europe and steal everybody's jokes and come back to America.
Yeah. There's like stories about that. How I think you might have told me this. There's like a dude in Europe who's just doing Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
He's just and nobody knows. Like nobody knows.
And that's crazy.
He's just
to
killing
Seinfeld in Europe.
Killing as like a comedian.
There's I knew I was reading that book, The Comedians, and that used to happen all the time. Like back in the day, like there was originally there was another Don Rickles, but this guy just did it better. Same thing with like the improv stuff. Like there was only allowed like 1 Three Stooges per show because the Three Stooges were so big that there was like every show would have 4 or 5 Three Stooges on them. You know, all doing the same thing. Nowadays, I see this might actually be a good way to get into the dating one without realizing it.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I see all these influencers that I hang with go to ChatGPT for their sketches, and it's actually a good sketch.
Chat EBT?
Or whatever. Yeah, Chat EBT. Bro, like I'm like, yo, I mean, you know, I could see from comedians, we'd be like, I could do that better, but it's actually scary if you give me a sketch in ChatGPT. I mean, I want to do the sketch, but if you're just some influencer with no ideas, why not?
And no creativity.
Right.
That's what I was just thinking about it. There are like 3 ways to get big on the internet, right? You either need to be incredibly hot.
Right.
You need to be incredibly talented.
Which is very rare.
Where you're doing something like you're playing the piano or you're making like pieces of art, you know, or construction. You build this like, have you ever seen the dude who like chisels marble?
Yeah.
Like that.
Let's go. Or
you need to have like some form of Down syndrome, autism, or like just like a real dirty freak.
It's like if you look weird, like the Kill Tony stuff. If you notice, a lot of their popular guys are extremely different.
Yeah,
like, you know,
that was a nice way to put it. Different.
Yeah, and that same thing with the internet. When you scroll, like I was talking to that one dude, Koosh, who's real big online, and he talks about how he doesn't have a chin. Like he's like,
yeah, dude.
I think people land on me because I don't have a chin.
Yeah, you look at this guy and he's so like long and lanky, and you're like, oh my god, his hair. He's just making food. I gotta watch this.
One of the most viral videos is that I always see it like every 3 months is that dude that's like missing like they took a whole triangle out of his head. It looks like there's no way he has a brain in there, but he could talk and everything. You ever see that video?
No.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like it's right over here in Queens where they recorded the dude. And I see the video, like, it's right by a train. They're like, man, what happened? And he turns. And I thought the video was fake at first. It's like everything is gone in his head, but like one little section.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, yeah, I lost part of my head.
Holy shit. Dude, yeah, I've been following that other guy who, like, he's a twin, and, like, half of his face, like, his jaw is gone. So his influencer journey is me getting my face fixed.
What happens? What do you mean?
I don't know. He had like, so I don't know if it was like bone cancer or something, but he like lost like half of his face, and now he's getting like surgery and you know, slowly.
Man,
it's crazy. So that's how you could get. That's how you can be a famous influencer, dude.
Yeah,
is doing that.
It's all about the tricks.
Oh, by the way, dude, I came up with a great idea earlier today.
What do you got?
I'm not going to tell you on the pod. I got to tell you after. A little, some content ideas.
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, I'm psyched about it.
Dude, I'm trying to go super hard on the content. Like, it's crazy, man. I'm only doing content for a job, and I could show you on Facebook alone. I got 22 million views last month.
Yeah,
and only grossed $3,300. I'm like, dude,
really?
22 million views.
It should be a lot more than that, shouldn't it?
It should be. I think they cut down the Facebook pay because there was something like a year or like that was in the works for like a year, and I think it finally went through where Facebook had a huge cut.
Interesting.
I noticed the damage, dude.
Because that's still not bad money, dude.
But when you talk I'm never gonna get that many views again. I was
22
trying
million.
to make like 10 grand this month just to max it out, see
Yeah.
what I can make. And yeah, dude, it's like, dude, you gotta think. I'll never even get. Who knows if I'll get 22 million views ever again in my life? I posted like 200 videos.
Jesus. I mean, you might, dude. There's a strong possibility you do. Dude, I want to talk. You want to talk about this show that we did last week?
Oh yeah, my show. Shout out to Pub Key.
Dude, great room. Great fucking first show, successful, dude. A lot of
Yeah.
people there.
Were the drunk girls in there when you were up?
They came in halfway.
That's what I think that threw the whole show off.
Did it? I don't know.
I feel like if from the beginning, if we had the girls up front in there, it could have kept it a little
Sure.
glued. They kept running and flirting with the bouncer. You had to tell the
that's what it
manager, I'm
was.
like, do you mind telling the bouncer to leave the girls alone so we can get them in the show, bro? Remember the bouncer walked in, he's like, you need to move from here. I'm like, dude, this is my show. I was like, matter of fact, I went up to the manager. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, yeah, no, this is his show. But then, yeah, I'm like, buddy, like, this is like, it was a total of 6 girls. And that's a big chunk if you count.
Yeah.
I had, 8 people in the room? Like,
There was more than that, dude.
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
probably
you're
like
right.
15 people.
15 people. Them 6 would have been way better. Oh, yeah, because some people did come in a little bit late, too. But
The room was like, and that's the thing. It was tables and chairs. The room looks full. And yeah, I had to leave. I had to go to Long Island. So I was like, oh, can I go early? And you're
Yeah.
like, why don't you go first? I was
Yeah.
like, perfect, dude. That's awesome. I go up. And now for the people who don't know, it was a lot of people who follow you
Yeah.
online and are fans of your sketches and your content. I had no idea about that, dude. And I go up and I like just fucking bomb, dude.
everybody did.
I bombed. So I haven't had a bomb like that in like years,
My
like
buddy
3-4 years.
Dan told me after he left there, he went to an open mic the next day.
Dude, I waited around. I had to go, but I waited. I go, I need to watch a little bit of Dan to see how he does to
Everybody
make me
bombed
feel
miserably.
better, dude. And I watched like 3 minutes and I was like, thank God, dude. Thank God it wasn't just me.
You know what's cool with me in that situation now? That particular night, I did old jokes, but it's the best thing for me because they are so giving for me. I could actually write real original Dom Leonelli material.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to pull off at like Broadway. I don't want to take a risk into like a 5-minute chunk or something.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out. But they're almost too giving. You know, I killed too hard, which is a good thing, but also like, you know, I don't know. I'm like, I gotta just build it up. Cause it's also like, I don't want to be bombing there regularly, but I
No,
was
that won't happen.
surprised.
How was your set?
I killed almost too easy though. I got the tape. I
Yeah.
destroyed it, you know?
That's good though. I mean, that is the benefit of like when it's your fans or people who know you come out. But damn, dude, I remember I got up there and I made like Dom, for people who weren't there, which is pretty much everybody
Yeah.
who's listening, dude. Dom goes up and he goes, hey, you know, really nice, like, welcome, like, hey,
Yeah.
welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming. He's shouting up, like, he's like, yo, miss, you're beautiful. You're dressed. I love your outfit. It's so good. And I'm like, wow, this is like, Dom's really fucking feeding them.
Yeah.
And I go up there and I make a joke about like, it feels like we're at an auction ball or something.
Yeah.
Dom, nothing. Just zero reaction, dude. Nobody's even looking at me. There's one dude in the front row.
I
He's
seen
on
that.
his phone the entire time. And I was just like, I can't even get a fucking smile from someone.
Bro, and that's the way it is. Even when I open for people like Little Mo, I knew like Little Mo would be like, oh, it's a good set. But I knew in my heart, I'm like, no, it wasn't, dude. Like they
Yeah.
hated me. They wanted to see you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's the same thing with all those big dogs. Like any comedians that open for people, man, it's crazy how strong you got to be to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And that's what makes you better, though. Like when you're opening for guys where the crowd is just like, you are just standing in the way of me
Yeah.
seeing what I paid for, and you can do well. Like I've opened for people before, and I've never had that issue. Like but yeah, dude, that fucking first up there, and the chicks walked in the middle of the show, and I was like, hey, ladies, how are you?
Yeah.
Sit down. And they were just like fucking on their phones, passing things back and forth. I was like, how old are you guys? And I was like, you guys on Hinge, dating apps? She was like, how old do you think we are? And I was like, I don't know, 36. Like being funny, trying trying to think that will get a laugh.
54.
Dude, trying to get a laugh from like the guys in the room.
Yeah.
Nothing, dude. And they were like 36. They were probably 22, you know?
Well,
nothing.
So those girls, they're fans of me. They come to a lot of my things, but they always get hammered. And the thing is, they got there at like 6 o'clock for the 9:30 show. And, you know, to be fair, that show started like an hour late. They had those tech guys there.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck was that?
Dude, how about they were like, hey, so we got 80 people before you. Dude, we seen. There was like 7 people in the room.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you know how those Bitcoin guys are. That you can't tell them nothing. I told the bouncer, no, that's your job. You tell them to leave right now. Saying he's like, give them 10 more minutes. And it's like next week I'm going to have to be like, buddy, if we say not, you know, we can't be.
Yeah, it didn't start till like 9:30, right?
Yeah, I think even 10 o'clock. I think we sat at like 9:45. So, you know, if people were excited to see me, most of those people got there at like 7:38.
That's crazy, dude.
Then they had to stand at the bar, blow a couple $100. But
that was
a fun bar.
Well, yeah, super
Great
cool bar,
great
dude.
food too.
Yeah, there was that was the other thing. After that, like whatever happened before the comedy show, dude, they were done, and then they're just like mingling. I'm like, go to the bar, go to the bar and mingle.
Yeah,
what are you doing? They're having like a Q&A.
And I doubt that they paid for that room. So it's like, hey, when you have the time, you got to leave. You know? It's like you
got an hour and a half.
Yeah,
that's it.
bullseye.
2 hours.
It's
whatever.
our time now. And I think that threw off a big piece of the show. One thing I could say, the people at Pub Key were so nice to me.
Oh,
man.
they're super cool.
Yeah, I went back the next day. I'm like, yo, I want to build it. I got the photos. I got to do the Eventbrite. You know more about stuff like that. I'm trying to learn. Is Eventbrite really worth it?
Yeah.
To throw money
Did you
on
not
it?
do Eventbrite?
No, that was all just from an Instagram post.
Oh, come on, man.
I just wanted to see what I could pull on my own, but I have to do like an
I can help you out with that. We'll throw up an Eventbrite or something.
Yeah, a
and,
little Eventbrite. I'll put some money behind
more people
it.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. That helps. Because then if you have like 15 people who are there to see you and like 10 who aren't,
that would be a perfect
just like,
thing.
oh, I'm going to go to a comedy show. That's perfect.
I'm realizing something now that I've been doing a little bit of touring for my fans. I can see why some comedians like can get a little, I don't want to say weaker, but when people scream, laugh at every single thing you say, you start to think you're good.
Yeah, you think you're a god, dude.
Yeah, dude. So it's like until you hit reality, like a real comedy club and you're following a killer comedian. Like I've been going to Broadway and dude, these comics kill up there.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's like the room's perfect. They sat you. I'm in the back like, damn. There's like Marina Franklin. It's like, every time the door opens, all you hear is, I'm like, oh my God, dude. Dom, you're next. Okay.
Great. Let's fucking go.
Let's follow this vet. Let's see what happens. Killers come through.
Holy shit. Yeah, man.
Such a difference from my old club LOL. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like, you know, some of these rooms could be so different. Like, have you been stuck in like a certain room, or did you notice a big difference from Boston to New York? Like when you learned comedy, because you kind of learned in Boston.
Yeah,
right?
it was 5 years there, 5 years here.
And then when you came to New York, what was some of the differences you noticed?
Right away. Well, I'll tell you this. One of the biggest differences is how many people are doing open mics here.
Right.
Like nobody does open mics in Boston because there's so much stage time.
And an open mic in Boston has real people at it, don't it?
A little bit, which is nice too. But here, dude, you'll have like, you'll be at a open mic and Joe List will come by.
Yeah.
You're like, you just did 6 shows over the weekend. Why are you coming to an open mic? And it's just like everybody does them. It's crazy.
And that's why you're so good. That's why they're so good.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at the Creek in the Cave, Mike Lawrence stopped in and they were like trying to like strong arm him and not put him on.
Really?
Like, they didn't know who he was.
So funny.
Like these open mic comics, because it's such a variation.
Yeah.
You know,
such a difference.
I was at a mic one time. And this was a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And I was shocked. I seen Mark Norman popped in and did a set.
Yeah.
And even 10 years ago, I mean, now, I don't know. Maybe he still is, but I doubt he would go do one now. But I remember being like, dude, that's crazy. I'm at an open mic with Mark Norman right now.
Yeah. yeah. It's not. Some people are just, some of those guys are just so obsessed with the craft of it.
Yeah.
They love everything about it.
Open mics, I should get to 1 or 2 just to kind of flush it out. But like that's almost what I was getting to. You know, like you can get controlled too easy. Like you could be an open mic comic.
Dude, you can also, what I found doing open mics a lot when I got here is you're doing comedy for other comedians who are sitting in that's not the type of comedy.
Yeah.
Like you'll like bomb at an open mic with like good jokes.
Yeah.
But it's not like weird or fucking dark, and that's what comics like at an open mic crowd.
And vice versa, an open mic joke might be too smart for a regular audience.
Yeah. Or it also like the reverse of like you have a really well done joke that is perfect for a room, and like your open mic killers are going to flounder on like a real club show.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, what the fuck? Why am I not getting laughs?
Dude, I know comedians, because I've been in New York for like, I want to say like 13 years now, right around there. And dude, I know comedians that I started with, they're still at the open mics, still doing the same jokes.
Dude,
like, bro.
that was the craziest thing. That was also another thing where I would watch dudes like week to week be like, hey, I'm just working on this thing. And I'm like, oh, that's a really funny joke. I would say it to someone. And they're like, yeah, man, that guy's been doing that joke at open mics for 8 years. And I'm like, oh, my God, I thought it was brand new. He says it's brand new. He's like, I'm just working on this. I'm like, that's a great joke.
There was this open mic at the Creek. I don't know if you remember. The Creek put out this thing that like, we let any comedian do whatever they want on stage.
Okay.
And some girl started showing up and stripping, and they let her get away with it for like a year straight, right?
I love that, dude.
Now, the amount of time she's getting away with it, but one comic who quit comedy because of this, man, he was so funny too. Byron Sadiq. I don't know if you remember him. Brian Sadiq. I forgot how to say his name, but he's an Arabic guy. Like really Arabic, like grew up. His grandparents are from those other countries. I don't know which ones, but you know, the Middle East is a little crazy. So people are like, yeah, man, you got to talk about your life, you know, on stage. So, you know, we're at the Creek and he goes up, he goes, you know, my grandmother and grandfather, they got along great, but also my grandpa used to burn her with cigarettes, you know. He's like talking about his life, you know. He's like, and they met, she was like 12 and he was 46.
Oh,
and,
my God.
You know, and he's like, think about it. Why don't we do that in America? Like, you know, why can't we bang 12-year-old? And dude, they pulled his mic and everything.
Holy
he quit
shit.
comedy.
Damn.
I remember I was at Brooklyn Public House with them once and they unplugged it. They're like, you got to go. You got to leave. He's like, you know, where I grew up, it's like, you know, if your wife does something wrong, it's okay to throw rocks at her. Like,
it's also not like beater. It's so specific. He's like, yeah, you cannot hit her with fist. But you throw a rock at her head. That's totally fine.
Rocks, and your buddies, they all throw rocks at them. Imagine you just throwing rocks at your wife.
Oh,
dude.
my God.
But
holy
you know,
shit.
I told him that comedy is going to make you famous. If you could keep doing that.
Yeah, one way or another, dude, people are going to notice.
Bro, you're really talking about your life.
Holy
And you're
shit.
letting people know how it is over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he lost his open mic because they said, hey, that's a little bit too edgy for people to witness. Meanwhile, there was a 60-year-old girl stripping completely naked playing with herself. And she kept going for like 2 years.
Holy shit, dude. Yeah, I missed the Creek. I was at the Creek for like 4 months before
good thing you got a little piece of it.
Before COVID shut it down, and then it never reopened here.
Yeah. And I don't blame them. I mean, they're killing down there.
Yeah.
When I first moved to the Creek, that was the first place I went, dude, was the Creek. Mm-hmm. I still think of the smell of the Creek. It had a unique smell.
That basement room?
Yeah, the toilet was always overflowing. You'd be at the open mic, and water would come in from the toilet. Everybody'd be putting their feet up.
Yeah.
Those were some fun-ass mics. But, you know, I actually think it's a good thing for comedy that the Creek left. I know it's crazy to say, but too many comedians got way too comfortable there.
I can see it, yeah.
It's a place you could go to. Rebecca was great. She would feed us all for free. That's probably why she went out of business. Like, she had too much of a good heart. Like, that girl fed me so many times. Shout out to Rebecca. And, you know, fed a lot of comedians and would give fucking jack-off comedians jobs that didn't know what the fuck they're doing. You know, just employ them to be like, hey, I want to help this guy out. But people would live at the Creek. Like, they would be there every day, all day. You'd get to the Creek at 4, everybody'd be there. You get a few free PBRs if you take out the trash. You'd see comics. I mean, I wasn't like that, but there was some regulars there, man. You know, and, you know, I think people get too comfortable. Even me, I spent like 2 years at the Creek. I didn't grow at all.
If you're, that's the problem with being comfortable. And thankfully, hey, I could say it's bad that I've yet to be comfortable here in New York. I've had everything,
had it in Boston,
dude.
Though.
Oh yeah,
you had it made.
Oh,
you
it was nice, dude.
Man, and there's probably pictures of you. People are talking about you in Boston.
Not for good
guarantee you.
reasons. Yeah.
I guarantee you the other comics are talking about you. Those shows were so fire. That
So
you put
good,
on,
dude. So good.
I would have did those fuckers for free, dude.
Yeah.
Those shows were lit. That would have been I mean, honestly, if you were still there, comics would go down there and film their special in that room.
Dude, we used to have comics come up all the time from New York and just be like, oh, can I? And I didn't realize it then, but now I'm like, oh, yeah. Of course, dude. I would drive 3 hours to Boston and do, 4 shows in a weekend, get paid a few $100.
Is there anything in Boston that even comes close to those shows now?
I don't know. I don't really know what's going on up there. I know they got a few shows that are pretty good.
I know the Boston scene is definitely growing. Every comic I'm meeting from New York starting in Boston now. I don't know if that was like a Joe Rogan thing or what.
I don't know. It was great in the 80s, and then it kind of died off. And then when I was starting, there was only like one club, and it was all open mics.
Did Burr start in Boston too?
I don't even know. Like maybe loosely. I know he's from there. I don't know.
If he's from Boston.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. So many killers.
Yeah,
are
of course,
from Boston,
dude. Yeah, Burr's from Boston. Louis from Boston. Rogan's from Boston. But
what, dude?
Yeah, you
I
didn't know that?
Louis from Boston.
Patrice is from Dorchester.
Damn, dude.
All those dudes are from Boston.
What do you think it is about Boston makes the fuck? Because you can almost say anything you want in Boston.
Yeah.
Even the women, dude. Women are raunchier than men in Boston.
Well, dude, you have a good mix of the crowds are great.
They're smart and dumb at the same time.
Yes, dude. You have the largest collection of like schools and universities in like a small area, right? You have Harvard, you have BCBU, Northeastern, you have Suffolk, you have MIT, all those schools. So you have a ton of educated people, and then you also have like dudes who work at Boston Sand and Gravel, and like
a lot of those
real
people.
blue collar guys, cops, firefighters,
thieves, straight up
thieves, criminals, yeah, dude. So you get them in a room, dude, and it's it's a great mix of people.
Dude, when I was at Hideout, when I did your show, I remember I went in the men's bathroom. There was a woman in there, and she didn't even give a fuck I was in there, and she's pissing in the urinal, dude. Everything out and everything. She's like, I'm not looking. I was like, whoa, sorry. She's like, I don't care. I was like, can I go? I was like, it's like weird.
That's Boston, baby.
That's Boston, man. Those women, you can't upset them.
Dude, we used to have so much fun up there. But then you come here, and you're like, oh, yeah, there's no fucking stage time. Everything I've had where I'm like, I fucking did it, it gets taken away. You lose it, But that's just the name of the game here.
I remember when I got passed at Stand Up New York, which never even actually happened, but I was told I was passed by the owner. I don't even think it's the same owner now. This is a long time ago. But I cried and walked all the way to the train in Times Square from Stand Up New York. I thanked God. I called everybody in my family.
That's awesome.
Dude, the next day, he's like, come by, you'll do your first spot on the 8. I come by. The booker was the bartender at that time, this dude named Greg. He goes, you're not passed. He says that to everybody. I'm the booker.
Oh,
like, wait.
My
He's like,
God.
are you serious? I'm not. That doesn't mean anything? He goes, no, dude. He's like, you auditioned through me. He's like, are you on TV? Well, have you done late night?
Oh,
because remember, Stand Up New York, like now they closed. Now it's New York Comedy Club. I mean, Stand Up New York moved to like a bar show, but it used to be.
It's never a good sign, dude, when you're a fucking one of the clubs in New York, and you're like, hey, guys, we're downsizing.
Yeah, to a bar show.
When a place like New York Comedy Club is adding like their 5th room,
And now New York Comedy Club took that room over. It's got to be gold because I remember back in the day, dude, Stand Up New York. I mean, dude, you'd be at Stand Up New York, you'd see all celebrities. Nobody was getting on unless they were huge.
Yeah, dude, I only did one show there. I hosted for someone. And, dude, the lineup was all like, hey, we got guest spots. Someone's coming from SNL. Is that cool?
Right.
And the guy's like, yeah, that's cool.
I remember when I was there, there was a guy that was on SNL, and I don't want to mention his name because of the situation.
He bombed?
No, he did great. But I was like, man, I just want to make it as a paid comedian. He started laughing.
Jeez. Yo, say his name, dude.
Dude, I can't say his name.
Say it. Fuck him, dude.
This is what he says. He goes, buddy. He goes, I'm doing spots for free right now here.
Wow.
He goes, and I was just on SNL like 2 years ago. He goes, buddy, these clubs don't want to pay nobody. He's like, he broke it to me. He's like, I mean, if you're lucky, you can get $25 during the week.
God,
he's like,
damn.
I didn't know what comedy clubs played in New York because I remember I was living here and I'd see these comedians all looking flashy and taking Ubers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they must be making money. I didn't realize they were probably on TV and millionaires. And then they're just doing the club spots for $25.
New York pays really well. and the cellar and the stand.
And
But,
dude,
like,
I can't shit on Broadway. Every time I walk
paying
in,
well,
that's
too.
the first thing. One thing I could say about Broadway Comedy Club, bro. People, I don't see why people shit on it. I don't know because I'm brand new to it. Maybe they changed things. But dude, you walk in. There's a green room that's nice. You get to sit in. There's like snacks there and shit. And then they go, okay, and you're Dominic. You're going on 710. Here's your pay. And you
That's
go
awesome.
on rated 710 to a hot room. It's
great.
And then you leave.
I think New York is paying $150 for weekend host spots. I think
Well,
that's what they
that's
pay.
accurate though.
But you host 3 shows in a night. You're walking out the door with $450, dude.
Right. And
you
they
do
should be
that
paying that.
twice a weekend, dude. 4 times a month. That's big. That's like $3,000. My math is so bad, dude.
Yeah.
That's like $4,000.
Yeah, I would rather be bouncing around doing spots though. I mean, I think the spot on the weekend pays $100, so you could do it at New York. I heard through the grapevine it pays $100. I heard Gotham's the highest paid club though.
Really?
Like a spot's like $125. I don't know if they changed that.
That's pretty
or not.
huge.
But if you look at Gotham, they could afford to do that. That room's like 5 times the size.
Yeah,
as New York.
they're making so much money.
You got to weigh it out. Like, dude, if they got like 7 comics at New York Comedy Club and like 4, I don't know what the smaller room fits. I mean, probably like 70 people. What would you say?
Where? Which one? The New York
24th Street or whatever, 23rd.
4th Street, the Midtown one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that the
not
West
that big of a
4th
room.
or the East 4th. The
Oh
4th,
yeah, that's a
4th
huge
Street.
room. I mean,
that's
you
like
can't even fill that
250,
room,
200.
dude. If that room's full, I couldn't even imagine killing on that
Dude,
room.
I did. I did the check spot for Donnelly.
Dude, check spot's got to be crazy.
Dude,
in that
it
room.
was fucking. You know what it was, too?
Chaos.
It was Sean Donnelly. It was either an album recording or like I forget if he videoed it, but it was like his album recording.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, do you want to come do the check spot, dude?"
Nice.
And it was great. Fucking sold out, hot crowd. And I remember Ray was like, "Yeah, dude, just it's a check spot." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." It was like
that your first check spot?
right when I moved here.
What were you
I don't
thinking?
think it was my first. It was great. I ended up doing really well, surprisingly well
Nice.
for a check spot. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But dude, yeah, that's what it is. They're all fucking filling out their checks and not paying attention to you.
I did checks for years. That's how I developed the quick, rapid fire set. And the secret with checks is you got to look at the person that's looking at you. Most people would try to get somebody doing math. What's the matter? You don't like my jokes? It's like, no, the
I'm
motherfucker's
just
doing math
thinking.
right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Dude,
But
the worst, not even the worst, but one of the funniest check spots I did was at Stand Up New York, dude. I hosted, and then the way the guy wanted me to do it, he was like, go up, do 15, bring up a comic, and then he was like, can you do like 10 more between the last comic and me? So he wanted me to do time before I brought him up as the headliner, and I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, then just do like 10 as a check spot at the end. And I was like, 15, 25, 35 minutes. Okay, cool, dude. Yeah, that sounds great, dude.
yeah. I'll do an hour of comedy on this show.
I did my like fucking 25 minutes, whatever I'm pulling out. And the problem was, dude, is like if you think you're going to do 10 minutes in a host spot,
yeah.
and then they're like, okay, just do 30. Good luck.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck, I gotta plan this a little bit. I gotta think.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm between sets. I'm like, okay, I told this joke. I'm making a list of like all my jokes and shit. I'm trying to remember. I'm like, fuck, what was that one joke I said last week? Okay, I'll do that. Dude, and then I like went up and did the checks. I just crowd worked for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And like threw in like 1 or 2
Yeah.
jokes.
Look at this guy's hat.
Yeah. What's up, you fucking retard?
Yeah. Hey, your wife got nice breasts. Dude, I remember some people, their crowd work, like, man, they would just be going nuts.
Oh, crazy.
Dude, people say some shit. I remember I was at a club one time and this dude tried stabbing me with a corkscrew over trying to like...
Stop, dude.
Bro, you're not going to believe this. I'm telling you the truth right now. So this is what happened. It's a small, very small... It shouldn't even have been a room.
Yeah.
It was a half of a Chinese restaurant that Roy rented out and put a fake wall up. So you hear all these Chinese people yelling in the kitchen while you're on stage, right? You've been to that
Playing mahjong.
on 46,
We're
yeah.
just playing mahjong with each other.
Fucking shit's getting smacked. It's like, what are they doing? And dude, so the room was just a little restaurant room. You're very intimate. The people are right there, right here.
It's the best room.
You could see everybody great, right? So I'm talking to this girl. She's nice, you know. I was like, you know, I'm just being friendly. You know how I do. I'm just trying. I'm like, hey, you know, have fun. What are you shy?
People be like, oh, you're too flirty. It's like, no, I'm being friendly with the ladies.
Well, I'm like, are you being shy? And this dude's drunk. He stands up. He goes, she's got Down syndrome. And look, I'm like, do you guys know each other? And I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, snap. Like, it hit me that something's wrong. I'm like, do you guys know each other?
Oh.
And she goes, no, I don't know him. Nothing's wrong with me. Dude, I'm like, what? This dude got so mad, start making fun of him, right? Dude, he has, I don't know where he got the corkscrew from. Dude, and he's got, maybe the waiter left it. Dude, this dude's standing there. The manager didn't like me. He's standing there. I'm like, yo, Thomas, you got to do something, man. I'm the comedian. Dude, I had to run off stage and run out of the room and come back. And the dude chases me out, right? The dude chased me out. And then I get back in. He leaves his cell phone there. Dude, I grab his cell phone. I'm like, I can't wait till this dude comes back. He comes back, hey, buddy, you know, I'm sorry about all that. He's sobered up. He's like, do I have my cell phone? I'm like, I don't think there was a cell phone, dude. He's calling it. It's fucking ringing in my pocket.
Oh, is it? Yeah, mine now.
I had to give it to him, but I wanted to be like, yeah, dude, maybe you give me $200. Dude tried stabbing me.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking trying to protect someone saying they have Down syndrome because they're shy is crazy.
Well, and her mouth was open. She had big eyes, but she was a normal girl, maybe tired.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. I ended up taking the girl back to West Village. We didn't do nothing, but I got to hang out with her. I definitely
to be
did.
clear, she didn't have Down syndrome.
But we took an Uber because I'm like, I don't want people to see me on the train.
I think you're her aide.
Yeah. She peed all over my floor, but she was a nice girl. She's like, I'm just drunk.
Oh my God, dude. Holy shit.
I thought I broke my cell phone camera that whole time. I was worried.
What?
I
Just
slammed
now?
down my phone. I forgot.
Jesus,
These metal chairs are strong.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. The LOL Comedy Club, they used to let everybody in that place. It wouldn't matter. There was one girl, I finally got her thrown out. She was ruining the show, dude. She threw a chair on the stage,
Holy
right?
shit.
This is LOL, zero security, right? So I finally get the owner, Roy. I'm like, hey, man, look, you got to throw this girl out.
Yeah.
They take her out of the room. They had to. Like a waiter, she's holding on to the door, right? Yeah. And, dude, then 2 minutes later, he goes, now we'll let you in the next show for a 2-drink minimum. Let her in. Dude, I couldn't believe it. She ruins the second show. Oh. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Dude, they don't care. That's the thing. They do not care. These guys who run the clubs don't care about anything comedy related other than the fact that people sitting in those chairs are going to buy at least 2 drinks.
2 drinks. There's a 2-drink minimum. You won't hear nothing in the announcement on
2-drink minimum.
He says that shit so clear. 2 drinks per person. Water doesn't count. He made water not count.
Water doesn't count, which, of course, dude. Soda don't count.
Right. He's like, it's got to be an alcoholic beverage or food. They used to change the menus. That's the only place I've ever seen. Like, I've worked in like 10 different restaurants in New York. That's the only place I've ever seen the cops would stand up for the customers because they knew them. I remember Roy had these Doritos, dude, New Year's Eve, bro.
Oh, my God.
The tickets, this was all over the newspaper. You could look it up. They sold fake ball drop tickets. There was no access to the roof. We went up there and almost caved in. I used to take girls on the roof at LOL and hang out up there, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you'd have to walk on the beams because it would cave in. There was like
don't step on the step on the plywood.
Yeah, don't fall through this structure. I don't want you to die tonight. So Roy did a New Year's Eve party. Tickets were like $500 a person or $240 a person, I think. And either way, it's like couples are like, that's like $500. Yeah. And that's just the ticket, not counting the food, right? Yeah. And you're supposed to see the ball drop. And the food was cut up hot dogs with toothpicks in them. Cool Ranch Doritos, dude, on a plate with cheese that they put on the microwave on it. Bro, so these people were heated. And then you couldn't see the ball drop. There was because construction, they started doing construction 2 days before the event. So everybody goes outside. You can't see the ball.
Oh,
bro, they called
my
the police.
God.
The cop was like, buddy, he's holding the Doritos. He goes, what did you think was going to happen when you sold it? This is $22. Dude, Roy's like, well, the owner's not here. I'm assistant manager. You know. Bro, he had to refund the people.
Wow, dude.
The cops quit coming. Like, when they moved to 7th Ave, because when we were on the 4th floor on 8th Ave, we got away with everything.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
There would be fires in there, bro. And there would be a show going on.
Just move to the other showroom.
Bro, he'd be like, get a towel, bro. He'd be putting a wet towel in front of the door. Dude, and you'd be on stage. People would be like, what's that smell? It's like carbon monoxide.
We're good. We're good.
But we got away with so much stuff over there. But then when we moved to 7th Ave, the cops were there 3 or 4 times a night.
Wow.
Because he just ripped everybody off bad, dude. He'd be like, that's the old menu. The waiter was quick it up selling people. He'd be like, oh, what do you want? You want 1800? You want Macallan number 17? These drinks would be like $54, you know. He just named the top shelf stuff. People be getting their bill. How's this $300? I'd be doing the check spot.
Oh my God.
I'd tell people, yo, I had nothing to do with this, bro.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I'm just here to do a free comedy show. I'm not getting paid either.
It would be slow, like on rainy days, and he'd call the ticket sellers. He'd have them all come in for a meeting.
Yeah.
He'd be like, okay, I don't care if you have to lie. Tell them whatever. Tell them Kevin Hart's going to be here. We need to sell tickets. He would tell them that.
Holy shit, dude. And that ruined it for everybody. Because now if you legit have a great comedian on, nobody believes you.
Bro,
in New
100%.
York. Nobody believes you.
I used to sell tickets, and there is a way to sell tickets and be smooth. It's all about the rebuttals. Like, the good ticket sellers are like, what do you care who's on? Man, you're going to have a good time and drink. It's even better if they're not good, but we do got professional comedians, like guys that been on Comedy Central, Late Night, and Chappelle's Show.
Yeah.
And then that's way better than being like, we got Amy Schumer. I remember somebody was like, they came to see the girl, the head. She don't do stand up as far as I know, but I see why people would want to see her. But Tina Fey.
Oh yeah,
ticket sellers would always be selling Tina Fey. I'm like, wait, she don't even do stand up. Like, you can't find a Tina Fey set.
Dude, we've had who was just on Trusso. Dude, we literally, I've been with him when he's selling tickets outside the Pair.
Yeah.
And people are like, who's on? And he's like, oh, we got a ton of funny comedians, guys who've been on TV, Netflix. You know Dylan Krasinski? He's going to be on. He's great. And they're like, oh, yeah. I've heard of him.
Yeah.
And I'm standing right there, dude. And I'm like, no, you haven't. Like, what the fuck? People don't give a shit. They don't know. They don't want to know. What they don't want to hear is, well, like, you probably haven't heard of these guys.
Right.
They just want to be sold.
Right.
That's it.
And dude, that's like right there. That's exactly how you do it morally. But people in Times Square aren't good salesmen. Or, I mean, some of them are, but they'll hire anybody and they don't care about the craft like Brandon does. You know, so they don't have to go to the show.
Yeah,
they're just regular guys. They just want to make the sale. So they don't care. Because, you know, when people show up thinking they're going to see, like, even, like, very popular ones are, like, people will say Mark Norman. He's definitely coming by.
Yeah.
People are so let down. Now it's like an uphill battle.
Exactly.
Versus if they're like, no, you don't know Dominic Leonelli? Man, no, he's funny. You got to check this dude out. People will probably be like,
oh, that was good.
I know
that was
him.
Great.
Yeah. Because people don't want to say they don't know somebody.
Oh, it's so funny, dude.
I do the same shit. My buddy's like, oh yeah, and he tells me, he names it, and I go, oh yeah, I think I know that dude. He goes, it's a store. I felt like such a jerk.
Oh, it's so funny, dude. Yeah, the only time I went to like LOL twice, and one time it was right when I moved here, and Kerrigan was like, oh yeah, come to LOL. Dude, I felt like I was walking through like a fucking Tiffany store in terms of like all the rules that he had. Kerrigan's like, okay, this guy, what was his name, Roy?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you know, the booker or the guy, he doesn't like this, he doesn't like that. Just like when you come in, I'll introduce you and then just go sit on the bench. And I was like, all right, dude. I literally just like sat on the bench. I think you came and I was like, oh, Dom, what's up?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, what the fuck am I doing, dude?
Bro, I wasted so much time sitting on the old one was 8th Avenue. There was that one showroom was completely empty. All the comics would sit in there. And dude, I would show up at 7 o'clock from the very first, I got passed at LOL as soon as I moved to the city, right? Yeah. I would show up at 7, wait till 2 in the morning, maybe get 5 minutes.
Jesus. Sometimes
I wouldn't even get 5 minutes. And dude, I wasted like 3 years of that. But then I should have been going around doing spots. But then in a way, it kind of paid off because then for like 7 years straight, I did every show.
Yeah.
I did every single show for 7 years, 7 days a week, seven to 9 shows a day.
And that's the thing, dude. People are like, I haven't seen you around. If you've been like at one place and then you see someone at another place, they're, where you been? It's like, oh, just here, dude.
Right.
And it's like you get comfortable, but it's also like, what's the goal, dude? Is the goal to like see everybody all the time? Or is it to like fucking get on stage as much as you can?
You know, when you talk to these guys that are successful, like I was talking to Ricky Velez when I first moved to the city. He's like, don't get pigeonholed at LOL. He's like, get around the city, right?
Yeah.
Go places you want people to see you. And I wish I would have took that advice because I didn't take that advice. And a lot of my friends did take the advice they said, like, you know, and they moved up. So, I mean, that's got to be it. But me personally, I'm like, dude, as long as I'm getting up, like I'll be honest with you, I'd rather do a spot than walk in and shake hands.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably I don't know. Also, that advice is from before the internet was so big.
Dude, I was also doing that for like the first 2 years I was here, just walking in, hanging out, shaking hands, saying hi to people. You know how many spots that got me? Fucking one, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe after like 2 years, they're like, oh, Dylan, you want to go up?
Yeah.
Like, that's it, dude.
It's tough to say. I feel like if you can get a room like right now, but actually what I fucked up on LOL was I was just trying to kill at any cost. So I was a hack. I was extremely filthy because these are like barked in people that weren't really comedy fans. Like I feel like the crowds at LOL were just, sometimes they were okay, but the ticket sellers would give them free tickets if they bought weed. So you were getting a certain demographic of people. Like when you look at these
those sound
clubs,
like good comedy fans. What do you mean?
Bro, when you look at some of these clubs like Broadway and even Comedy Village, you could tell that they put some effort into their like the people that go to the shows are better.
Yeah.
And even like these downtown rooms, like the Pair sometimes, like I know I play the Pair, but I'm like, how conducive is this to comedy, really?
Yeah.
Like, so I think it depends on the room you're in. Like you can't write I feel like a midnight Pair show, is a good joke even working?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
It's like, or do you got to be like, look at this dumb bitch? You know, that's going to get the biggest laugh.
Yeah, dude.
Stand up, bro. The biggest laugh, you get somebody to stand up and point out the obvious about him. Look at this dude. He don't got a neck, you know?
Yeah, dude.
I bet you can't crack your neck.
Bro, that's what, you know what? That's what I've been doing. And that's what stand-up has helped, dude, with these online trolls, dude. All these people who are just calling me fat. Still going, dude, by the way.
Yeah.
Going on 3 weeks now. Every day I get comments being like, you're fat. And whenever it's a hot girl, like a hot girl
girl's calling you fat?
Dude, there will be like hot women who are like, you're fat.
Really?
Like, you're the one.
Well, you kind of brought that on yourself with the fat part.
Listen,
I watched
I'm
the
fine.
video. It wasn't even a mean video. That's what's funny.
I know. Dude, but what I've been doing, and this is what like stand-up has taught me, is listen, I'm not going to be mean. But if you're mean to me, I'm going to be as mean as possible. Are you going in the
comments?
Dude,
I used to do that.
I've gone back into the comments.
You got to be careful. People screenshot them and send them to you.
Who gives a shit, dude? I'll find like a hot girl on there, and like this one girl was like, you know, you're just as fat as these people. And I looked at her profile and I was like, I may be fat, but your forehead is enormous.
Yeah.
And like, I'll find the thing that I go, you're going to be so self-conscious about this. I know it, dude.
Dude, it makes me feel better too. I do it too. Yeah. And nothing's better than a big forehead joke on especially a woman. It hurts men too. One of the best big forehead
jokes. I can land a
jokes.
plane on your forehead.
Bro, one of the funniest ones I heard was they said, man, he gets in the barber chair backwards. Like a New York comedian, I don't know who said it.
Oh, that's funny, dude.
You know, those big forehead jokes. You think in 72 font.
Dude, I love it. Dude, I try to find, I go, what is this? What is this person most self-conscious about? And then I'll plug it. And it's better if you can't change it. Hey, I may be fat, but your forehead is enormous.
Yeah.
Well, like your nose, crazy small for your face. And then they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, because if it's true, you know.
Yeah.
And they know it, dude.
I know.
I remember, dude, I made fun of a girl, and she got married because of it, actually. One of my best friends married her.
The girl with the fake tits?
I told you about that,
yeah,
bro.
Dude.
So there's positives to it, too. People are like, oh, that's mean. You can't say that. You know, there's some positives.
Yeah, dude, you know, why not?
People say stuff to us, you know.
I know. I'm never going to be mean to people, but if you're mean to me, I'm going to try to make you cry.
Well, roasting girls, that's the slickest game you could ever get, but you got to be able to do it right. Like people that can really make fun. You start teasing a girl, because I think with guys like me, a lot of girls, and we know a couple of the same girls, and they think I like them just automatically because I'm short, and I guess, maybe they don't realize I really don't have trouble getting girls. Like, I'm kind of lucky in that department. So I'm thinking, like, these girls, like, I make fun of them a little bit. I like to break them down, But then I feel bad a little bit. You'll see them, like, a show, like, 3 weeks later, they're still thinking about it.
Oh, my God. Dude, we got to, we should wrap up. Well, say what you're going to say, and then we should wrap up and do that other episode.
Oh, yeah,
Talking about girls. We'll do, next week, dude, what we're going to film now is Dami L, dude, trying to get back on the old dating scene.
And we're going to call that episode Dom Juan.
Yo, that's great, dude.
After I talk about how easy it is for me to get girls, we're actually, except for online dating. See, the thing is, you ever fish with dynamite?
Yeah.
Oh, you did do it?
Yeah. You just throw it in the water and they rise to the top.
Yeah. See, I never did it.
No, of course, dude. I've never fished with dynamite.
Well, I don't know. You go to Vermont. You might do some shit.
I thought you were using the analogy of fishing with dynamite.
No, there's straight up nerds that I know that never got no girls, and they figured out Hinge. And I don't know. They even dress dorkier,
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I'll be a nerd. I got to figure it out. But my buddy, dude, I mean, I want to do this. I want to find a wife. But, dude, every time I see him, he's going to a comedy show with a different girl. And I'm like, how'd you do it? Dude, he's like, Hinge, dude.
Hinge.
He's like, I spent some time. I figured out Hinge. And I'm like, well, what'd you figure out? He's like, if you ask ChatGPT to make you a Hinge.
ChatGPT, dude.
It'll work. Yeah, ChatGPT. So we're going to use some ChatGPT on next week's episode.
Hell yeah, dude.
And we're going to see if we can get me some dating. And we're going to follow up with the dates.
I love that, dude. We're going to
works.
try it. We're going to do it. It's going to be great.
I want you guys to go watch the viral video of Park Hoppers. Because honestly, you didn't do, I don't feel like it was not even remotely mean.
No.
But...
Dude, did you see on the
hate.
podcast clip we posted, this dude who follows me, he commented, he goes, I'm just here for the plus size park hoppers. I was like, let's go, dude.
Yeah. So plus size. And honestly, man, it's not even a mean video. So
No.
Go check it out. Tell us your opinions on that video. What you think. Tell us if you think Dylan's fat. He's skinnier now.
Dude, I got the shot. I'm 6 weeks in, dude. I'm down for 25 pounds.
It's probably helpful that they're all calling you fat.
I know, dude.
See, the thing is, I don't want to see you with a six-pack, dude. I feel like you might lose out.
You're going to be jealous, dude. I'm going to roll in here with a six-pack and you're going to be like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
what
you
the
never know.
fuck's
You might
going
change
on?
the whole game up. I mean,
What's
that would be a
going on?
little waste, man.
I know, dude.
It'd be crazy. You know what you got to
26
start
waist.
doing? You got to get like those dudes when they used to be fat and they get real big easy. Like, you got to keep your arm muscle somehow.
Yeah.
And just lose it in the waist.
That's the way to do it.
What about, have you ever thought about those waist trimmers? I used to wear one.
Oh, the ones that vibrate?
No, it's a regular elastic thing that you just put around your waist all day, and it sucks everything in tight.
Makes you sweat the fat
It makes
off.
your waist smaller, but I don't think you really lose the fat.
Yeah,
but
no.
for whatever reason, your waist gets smaller.
Interesting.
Dude, I got down to a 24 pants size. Like, I couldn't wear any pants. I swear to God.
God damn, dude.
I mean, I was skinny then, too. I was like 119 pounds, but I was a boxer.
Shit.
So they said, hey, wear this to make your waist smaller because I have wide hips, And they were like, just wear this so you won't get hit in the stomach as much. And, dude, I'm telling you, I had a little fucking Japanese woman waist.
Yeah, dude, it sounds like you're bonding Chinese girls' feet.
Yeah, you just wrap it around. You wear it for about 3 months every day. You sleep with it.
Holy shit.
Might be something for you to look into.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I can't wait.
Five
Sounds like
below.
a scam, but maybe I'll check it out. Dude, give them your plugs and we'll wrap this up.
All right, check out my other podcast too, Dry Salami Podcast with my buddy Dan Harumi, who's blowing up.
Yeah.
All these famous people are following him, dude. Go check out. Honestly, I gotta give a shout out to my buddy Dan Harumi. Go check out his Instagram. He's doing something so unique. It's literally blowing up. Every video is going viral. He's got these very original takes.
Yeah.
And dude, he's got dude, Dion Cole just followed him.
Oh, shit.
Dude, a
That's
lot
cool.
of comedians are following him. Big rappers are following him and shit. So
Fuck yeah.
yeah, I think the dude from Barstool Sports just followed him.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, dude. When you watch the videos, it's like you can't not watch it. I binge watched the whole. Brilliant stuff, man. Check out
Hell
Dan
yeah,
Rooney.
dude.
But and that's it. For me, Dominic Leonelli on Instagram. I'm not doing nothing creative.
Follow me at Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Troublemakers on all those sites. We post clips 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week. New episodes out every single Wednesday. We'll see you next week, baby. Good night.